Hey yo, what's going on? Derek here. Welcome back. Another day, another dollar. Gonna send off some texts today. I usually, as of lately, I haven't been coming on here to send off some texts, but I'm gonna do that today because I didn't have a chance to do it yesterday. I had turned off my texting campaign over the holiday weekend because I didn't want the automation to text on Thanksgiving and Friday. So I turned it back on over the weekend. So it looks like about at 10 a.m. when they, oh geez, I didn't even realize. At 10 a.m. when it turned back on, like hundreds of people got texted. So I'm actually gonna scan through these because I did get some replies. Ooh, I didn't realize how many texts went out. Yikes. Let me close out some of these tabs. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all these. A lot of texts. Okay, I got a not selling at this time, says Monica. I'm going to pull up my template for the response. Not right now. I'm going to say completely understand. Do you think you would have any interest in the near future? I'd love to stay in touch and reconnect when the time is right for you. See how she replies to that. Stop texting me, not my problem. You have the wrong number. Okay. It's not for sale. I need to add that as a trigger. The words not for sale. I don't think that string of words right there can be included in another phrase that is alluding to him being interested in selling. So I think it's safe to use those three words, not for sale, as a trigger to indicate that people are not interested. Not interested. Mark is red. Stop, says Steven. I got all the size. Not interested. Thank you. I got all the size. Well, that word right there, not interested, should have. Oh, no. I did that intentionally for the same reason I just mentioned. Because somebody texted back and said something like, not interested right now, but maybe in the future. So I don't want it to just be the words not interested that picks up on that and automatically tags it. You have the wrong number. All right. So I just had a handful of people text back to the text that went out at 10 a.m. But now I'm gonna grab a couple hundred people and add them into the campaign for the first time. Those people that got texted at 10 a.m. That was like the third time they got texted. Because again, I turned it off on Thursday and Friday, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and then I turned it on over the weekend, and then it started on at 10 a.m. Started at 10 a.m. or I don't think I turned it on until last night, which is why I didn't get sent out yesterday. So it started at 10 a.m. today. So I'm gonna pull my most recent imported this on the 23rd. I took advantage of a pre-Black Friday sale at this list provider. So let's see. I'm going to be sure that this is So this is a hot zip code list. So if you're unfamiliar with that, I would recommend you go. I learned that from Max Maxwell a while back. YouTube, like Max Maxwell, um, what is it? List source hack to find hot zip codes. It's a way where you can pretty much go all the way to the end and without buying the list, still get a list of the hottest zip codes where there is the most market activity for cash sales. So, it's a good idea to market to those zip codes because that's where the cash buyers are at. So that's what this list is. It's like the top 10 zip codes in a specific county in my market. Um, these people are 60 plus years of age. They're absentee owners. And I think that there was some other parameters in there that I just can't remember. I mean, in terms of like price points, and they've owned it for at least 8 years, little stuff like that. But for the most part, it's 60 plus absentee hot zip codes. And I have 339 records in this list. I'm going to send off um, like 250. I might as well just do 300. Let me see how many phone numbers I'm texting off of. I might need to buy another phone number just in case. Because I want to limit each phone number to about 100 new texts a day. I think they say to limit it to 200, but I just want to play it safe. And phone numbers really are inexpensive. It's like $1 per number. As long as I can find where the hell they are. There they are, phone numbers. Okay, so I got 3 numbers that I'm texting off of. So that's cool. I'm going to send off 300. It'll be a heavy texting day. So I'm going to select all 30. Well, should I just do all 339? What do you think? I'm going to do page size 100. I'm going to send off 200 to start. And then if, depending on what type of response I get, I'll send off another 100. So I'll go 200, add to campaign, proceed. I'm going to add them to the general 20-day campaign where they will get texted over the course of the first 20 days, and with some ringless voicemails sprinkled throughout as well. Over the first 2 days they get ringless voicemails. Action description 200, contact import to general 20-day campaign. Start on today at 5 minutes from now, which is 12:25 p.m. in my market's time. Batch quantity, I'm going to send off 10 messages every 1 minute. So it will take 20 minutes to send out the 200. I don't need to do it that fast. I can send out 5 a minute. In which case, how long would that take? My quick math is fading. 200 take 40 minutes. Yeah, 1 minute. Start from 10 a.m. to, how long did I say? 40 minutes from, let's just say 10:30. Oh shit, 12:30. I mean 12. Gosh, it's a little confusing because it's not my time; it's my market's time. 12:20 to, I'm just say 2. 30. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. That'll give me a little buffer. Add in drip mode. 5 every 1 minute. Start in 3 minutes. Yeah. It's gonna take 40 minutes. Yeah. So I can go to 1:30. All right. Yeah, it's gonna end at 1:05. Yeah. All right, boom. All right, that'll get sent off in 3 minutes. Mhm. Got my script, my notepad, my phone, my dog. I'm locked in. I had said this in the description of the video, but this is pretty much like the first time that I am like sending texts or really marketing in a while to a fresh list, because when I was making the transition from my old dialer, Mojo dialer, to my new dialer, Call Tools, I uh, I really was just moving the data from one place to another, and then kind of trying out these new softwares that I started implementing into the process. And um, again, it was all recycled data, and I've still been getting really good contacts on it. Um, probably because some people are willing to respond to a text more than they are cold calling, because that's the only form of marketing that I was doing in the past, was just cold calling. So, I may be texting some of those same numbers that never picked up the phone, but they're willing to text me back and say no. Um, and, I'm just in making the transition to Call Tools, the dialer, I'm able to dial off of more lines. So the likelihood of me connecting with somebody is higher because I can call more people in a quicker period of time. So, but at the same time, they're still just recycled lists. My contact rate isn't nearly as high as it could be if I was calling a fresh list or texting a fresh list. So this is the first real fresh list that I'm going to market to in a while. And I bought this list like a week ago. Like I said, took advantage of a pre Black Friday sale. It's a pretty unique list. This is a new. I've never pulled a list from this new list provider. To be quite honest, not sure of what it's even. It's called GeoPoint Data. Um, I think that's where I got it. GeoPoint Data. Excuse me. So not only interested to market to a fresh list, but seeing the quality of this list will be interesting as well, because this is the first place. And I've gone up about like tweaking a little bit here and there. Like, it may seem insignificant, but in my opinion, it's going to make a world of a difference. Is when I went to go import the list into my texting platform, I made sure that all of the names and the addresses were capitalized correctly. Because before, it was sending it off, and sometimes the first name would be all caps. Um, or the address would be all caps, and to me that just screams, spam. So this one, it's looking real nice in terms of the formatting, in my opinion. All of the first names that are being included in the text messages are properly capitalized, as well as the address. So again, it may not make that big of a difference, but at scale, when you're doing big volume, I'm sure that little stuff really makes a difference. So they're starting to get sent off. About 10 of them have been sent off so far. Just clicking through, making sure that I'm not accidentally texting any landlines, or any of these are kicking back as errors because, for whatever reason, sometimes the cell phone number is no longer in use, it's disconnected, unavailable, and it'll give you a error code that indicates what that is. And the texting software that I use is REI Reply, but it requires you to use a phone number provider, and so I use Twilio. Twilio is, I don't know if it's the only thing that can be used through REI Reply, or some other competitors of Twilio can be used as well. But Twilio, essentially, you're buying the phone numbers. You're pretty much like texting and calling off of Twilio as well, because that's where you're getting the phone numbers. But it's like being presented to you in REI reply. REI reply is like the shell, and it allows like Twilio, or maybe vice versa. Twilio allows REI reply to present the data of Twilio in a manner that appears to be like very nice and organized and systematized. I don't know where I was going with that thought, but all right, they're rolling out. 5 a minute, about 15 have gone out so far. I just like to slow play it a little bit. Like if you saw me, brought it back. I was gonna do 10 a minute. I've done 10 a minute before, but sometimes my system slows down, and it can't keep up. Wrong number. I don't own this property. System picked up on that and tagged it wrong number. Um, and how I've been importing it is after I skip trace it with batch skip tracing, shameless plug, link in the description. It's not going to give you any type of a discount, but if you sign up and then with that link, and then you do end up using batch to skip trace your data, I think it will kick me back a little referral. I'm not even sure how much because nobody's ever done it before, but if that's something that you're interested in, I vouch for batch. I've tried other skip tracing platforms here and there, and batch it's pretty clear to me that they're the industry leaders. You may be able to offset it somewhere else if you like want to try to get it for dirt cheap and then just do crazy volume, but doesn't make sense to me. So after I skip trace it with batch, it'll kick back and it'll tell you which numbers are mobile, what are landlines, and then it'll give you up to 10 phone numbers in order of um, like, it's the word I'm looking for, like likelihood of it being the correct number. So they're going to give you the first number with the most likelihood of it being the person that you're trying to reach. So what I do is I just take everybody who has a mobile number as the first number, and I take those people and their first mobile number and import those people into my texting. And that's the people that I text. And then I take everybody else um, who either, I mean, I'm still going to call these people. I'm just going to call all their other numbers, and then everybody else who didn't have a mobile number as their first number in the skip tracing results. And then anybody who goes through this whole 20-day campaign on this first mobile number of theirs and doesn't reply, I will then bring that mobile number over to my dialer and call it. And so I haven't called this list on my dialer yet. I want to wait to text it first, and give it a little bit of time for some of these people to reply, like Dudley here that just says no thanks. Tag him as not interested. No please says Mr. or Mrs. Nguyen. Interested. What's going on? If you're in here and you're enjoying this, do me a favor, hit the like button. Huge favor. All right, responses are starting to trickle in. And send some of these ringless voicemails are starting to get sent out. If they don't reply to that first text in the first 3 minutes, then they get a ringless voicemail from me that says it alludes to the fact that, hey, just sent you a text, wanted to know if you're interested in receiving an offer on your property there. It's general enough where I can use it for everybody. I'm not saying their names or their addresses, but alluding to the fact that I just texted them, hey, just texted you. So it should prompt a text back. I ended up turning off my IVR, my interactive voice response, which was set up. It's also, you may hear people refer to it as a call tree. When you call into, like, I always use this example, when you call into like a doctor's office, and as opposed to somebody being on a human being on the other end of the line, when you call in, it's like an operating machine that prompts you to press a number to direct you to whatever department you're trying to speak with. To speak with human resources, press 1. For the optometry department, press 2. That's what it was doing when people called back after I texted them here. If they called in, it would go to a call tree and it would say, if you're interested, press 1 and leave a voicemail with your name, number, and address. If you're not interested, press 2. Pretty simple. But what I found was a lot of people were calling back and hanging up. 90% of them would just hang up when they started to hear the machine. And I was getting charged for that. I was getting charged like a penny every time, like a penny and a penny and a third every time I was getting those callbacks, even if nobody pressed the number. Very rarely did anybody press a number, and I never had anybody press a number 1 and leave their information. I just don't think it was, again, one of those things that needed to be implemented there until I'm just doing this stuff at scale, because the likelihood of somebody calling back, it's not worth, to me, it wasn't worth having to pay every single time somebody called in and hung up just for the off chance of somebody actually leaving their information. Obviously, it would have paid off clearly, because I'm talking about a penny every time they call in. And if a $10,000 deal, came of somebody leaving their information, then obviously it would have paid off. But I just don't have that luxury to expand my budget like that. I'm kind of forced to trim the fat in a couple different areas so that I can continue marketing consistently, which I think is more important than trying to do a lot all at once. And then if it doesn't pop into a $10,000 deal or something like that, then I'm kind of SOL. So some of these are kicking back as errors. What I do is I tag them cold call, and then it will push it to a pipeline stage, which is labeled push to dialer. And every so often I can go and pull a list of everybody who is in this push to dialer pipeline stage that is also not tagged as exported. And then I will then export these and then import them into my dialer and tag them in this texting software as exported, so that they will no longer pop up on this list. All right. I got some not interested, some stops, some no please and no thank yous. Not a lot of quick text back. That's all good. Yeah, slow play it today. Been kind of slow playing it for a while. I'm kind of doing what I was just mentioning, doing my best to remain consistent over just like going hard one day and sending off 1,000 texts, and then not sending off texts again for another 2 weeks. Sending out a couple hundred every Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday was the first Monday that I really missed, but I hit all my follow-ups yesterday, so I was kind of proud of that. Celebrating those small wins, This guy's name is James Brown. Dolores says not interested. Syed says hi. No, I am not interested in selling. Very formal response from Syed. Couple stops from Hung and Wiley. Yeah, I don't think 5 is enough. 5 per minute. I think I can handle far more than that. At least with this type of response rate. You know what? I just thought of something too. I'm I'm texting a 60 plus list. So the likelihood of these older ladies and gentlemen texting me back is probably lower than if I were to text another list. I didn't even think about that till right now. These people are probably looking at their phone like, oh, what is this now? A text? What do I do with this? A lot of them are telling me stop though, so they know enough to shut me down with the flagged words, the blacklisted words, or whatever you want to call them, the unsubscribe words. You know, and I say this almost every video too. I'm really satisfied with the flow of the texting platform, and just the ability to like disposition these responses quickly. And really, that's what the texting to me seems to be, is to just trim the fat off of the list and hopefully squeeze a deal or two out of it every so often, but really just makes for more efficient cold calling, because then you'll go to call the list and you'll, I mean, I guess I don't get rid of, I still get a second no. I guess I'm still calling the people that um, say no. Maybe that's something that I can implement. We used to do that when we were doing it, me and my partners, when it was we are doing it at pretty small volume. Anybody who texted back no, I would have the list on like an Excel sheet, and I would look for the person and then get rid of their entire contact, so that when we went to go import it into the dialer, we weren't calling that number. But to be honest, it's not. It kind of seems more work than anything else to just call those other numbers associated with that property. Maybe I'll catch them on like their landline as opposed to their mobile, and then they tell me no again, and it only took a quick second. Or or I just call those numbers to no success because nobody else is going to answer the other numbers because they're all wrong numbers, or I waste my time connecting with somebody who's telling me it's the wrong number. So like this person, no, lose my number. I really don't want to call the other numbers associated with this property because it seems to be that I already got a hold of the right person. It is not for sale. Please remove me from your call list. Thank you. That place already sold. You must have old records. Oh, okay. Would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? That's my template. Response to that. And then I'm going to tag him already sold, which will put him into a pipeline stage that I've created that's labeled lost/MLS/already sold. It's kind of a miscellaneous pipeline column that I've created, and I like to do that just to, again, it's kind of miscellaneous. So like if somebody tells me it's listed on market and it's already really fixed up, you know what I mean? Or they say I just sold, or if I'm negotiating with somebody and somebody else beats me out and ends up closing on the property, I'll mark it lost lead, or whatever the case may be. Kind of just miscellaneous. But he just texted back saying, nope, he doesn't have any other property he'd be interested in selling. So I'll also, no, I'll just leave it. Tagged already sold. I no longer own the property, says David. I'm going to hit him with the same template. Him already sold. See, like right now, my system's slowing down because it's just every time a new batch of text gets sent out every minute, it just expands the list of text that it has to load up. So every once in a while, I just like to refresh my screen, take note of where I'm at in the list, and get back to it. Otis, hey, what's good, man? How was your texting blast been? What's going on, Otis? Appreciate you tapping in here. It's going good. Just kind of kicked it off, sent off 200. Well, I'm sending off 200 text to a newer list that I got here. And I'm just getting kind of filtering through the responses that are starting to trickle in here. Just started it about 20 minutes ago, maybe. A couple of people have already sold the property that I'm texting on, and 2 people now do not have any other properties. He says nope. Daniel says not interested. And I mean, like I was saying about texting, really to me seeming to be just kind of trimming the fat. I do definitely need to implement something where I am able to clean my list that gets imported into my dialer, that gets rid of all these people who I'm already connecting with via text. You know what I mean? If they're going to tell me that they're not interested through text, then I shouldn't be calling them. It's just for efficiency's sake and budget wise. I'm just wasting money calling those people. All right, Preston says yes. Make a fair offer and we will consider it. No lowball offers. It is rented for $1,400 per month. You can Google the address for interior pictures online. All right, let's check it out. The only reason I don't think this is going to be a play here is because there's interior pictures online, meaning that I'd imagine they've done a fair amount of renovations to it and have listed it for rent on the MLS, or at one point tried to sell it and maybe didn't. So I'll take a deep dive into this real quick and determine what the story here is, or if maybe I can piece together a story. If not, I'm gonna have to ask. But nice, I'm going to do a text campaign on my cold calling stuff soon myself, like call one area and auto text another, something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty much doing myself, Otis. I'm trying. So the platform that I'm using is an automated drip campaign. So if you're familiar with like an email drip, where you can just do all of the work up front in creating the campaign, typing out what's going to get sent on what day. So that's what I've done in my text campaign. It's all already laid out. So on day one, they get a text and a ringless voicemail. On day two, they get a text and a ringless voicemail. On day three, they get a text. On day 7, they get a text. On day 15, they get a text. And on day 20, they get a text. Something like that. And I'm finding that actually the more favorable responses come after like the third or fourth text, because everybody who's going to say no is going to say no right away, or maybe after the second, third text. But I'm finding that I'm getting the most favorable responses after like the third, fourth text. So it's pretty reassuring, because it shows me that truly the consistency and the follow-up is really beneficial. But I've been saying, yeah, because I've been seeing, or I've watched videos in the past, and I think it was Max Maxwell as well. He was kind of giving a presentation on the overview of his marketing and how it looks from like a bird's eye view, and how it's essentially on a conveyor belt. And it starts with the least expensive form of marketing, which in my case is texting. And in a lot of people's cases, I'm sure it's going to be texting. And the idea is to push 10,000 properties through the texting phase of your marketing, and that'll trim it down to 7,500 of all the people that you were able to connect with and they weren't interested, all the wrong numbers, all of the fax numbers, everything that kicked back with an error. And then you bring it to that refined list over to your next form of marketing, which in my case would be cold calling. So that's why I've been saying I think I'm doing it in a nice way, but I also need to start figuring out a way where I can clean my list in my dialer so that it gets rid of all these people, or build a process for myself to manually do this, get rid of all the people on the list that I'm connecting with through text, so that I don't waste my time and money calling them a second time, even though they've already told me that they're not interested via text. All right, I wanted to catch up for a quick second. I'm gonna pull up that property, see what it's looking like. What property to? Quick double text there. Let's see. Jose says yes, as in yes, we can talk about it. So I'm gonna try to pull at least one like pre-qualifying pillar out of him. I'm gonna ask, either about the condition, his timeline. I'll probably ask about timeline. That seems to be, I'm trying to determine as well. Well, I'll get back to Jose in one quick second. This guy says, no, don't bother. I'm trying to determine which is like which of the pre-qualifying pillars, being motivation, timeline, condition, price, will give me the highest response rate when I ask about it. So because I'm finding I've been going to condition first through text, and I've been asking like, can you tell me a little bit about the condition? But I find that a lot of people don't text back, probably because it's a lot of work to text. The roof is this old, the AC is this old. It's like a lot of information. So I don't know. I may look to ask for like a different pre-qualifier, like okay, like how quickly were you looking to sell? And that kind of gives me a it kind of answers two of them. Like if he or she tells me I need to sell within the next month, that tells me that there's not only a short timeline for them to sell, but there's also some sense of motivation, and it would probably be worth my time to get on the phone with them. That's because that's all I'm trying to do is I want to ask them at least one question so I don't waste my time hopping on the phone with them. Um, so Jose says yes. I'm gonna text back saying, uh, let me see if I have a template for this. Yes, I'm interested. See, on that one, I want to edit this, but my template says, "Great, I'd love to learn a bit about the property. When are you free to talk?" But again, for everything that I just mentioned, I want to change that question to ask one question, a different question, like, "Great, I'd love to learn a bit about the property." Um, I'm not even going to say I'd love to learn a bit. I'm going to say, "Great." Um, uh, did you have an idea of how quickly you'd want to sell? Did you have an idea of how quickly you'd want to sell? I don't know. I'm gonna send that off because Jose was direct with me. I feel like, wow, David said yes too. Just a quick yes. So I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say, great. Uh, did you have any idea of? Did you have? See, I need to come up with a better response here. Great. Did you have an idea of how quickly, how soon you'd want to sell? See what type of response I get to both of those. Let me come back here, make sure I'm not texting some landlines. Getting a couple of good responses so far though. I like just the both of them back to back, just yes. I guess that comes with the age as well. These people are just direct, you know? Because what I'm asking them in that first text is, hi, first name, have you given any thought to parting ways with the address? Can we talk about it? So a lot of people just say no. But I've never really had anybody just say yes. Usually they're telling me, how much, you know, or just like a little bit more context. This is the first two times that I've had anybody just say yes. So getting pretty good response rate considering how like low volume I'm doing. David said no, he didn't have he doesn't have an idea of what did I ask how soon he'd want to sell. Um, so I might just get him on the phone real quick. See what he's talking about. Catherine says nope to the first text, which is tagged not interested. I will always love dogs. I just finished watching yesterday's video. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. What was yesterday's video? I don't even really remember. Oh, I just burned through all my follow-ups, huh? Had a couple of good conversations yesterday. It wasn't anything like, let's sign a contract, but it's really, really some hot follow-ups were generated from yesterday. One gentleman says that he's given his tenant the opportunity to buy the place, but they've been dragging their feet, and if they don't pull a trigger by, within the next month, him and his wife are gonna, make the decision to just sell it, to somebody else. So he was, it was really high vibes on that conversation, and I told him I was going to follow up in a few weeks to see if his tenant was pulling the trigger. What else? I had another good conversation yesterday as well. I can't really remember though. I mean, and I'm still banking on this woman. We've already come to a verbal agreement. I'm not going to rely on her, but uh, that's still fairly high, in my opinion. Otis, how many hours do you do the text blast a day? For me, it's not really about the length of time, and I'll tell you why. So, 1 second, let me read through these replies, and I'm going to address that for you, Otis. Anita says no. Christina says I sold it already last November. Damn. Thank you for reaching out. So for Christina, I'm going to hit her with the templated response of already sold, which asks, would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? Need to go in and edit some of these templates. And I'm going to tag her already sold. Mary says no thanks. System slowing down a little bit. I didn't forget about you, Otis. So I don't do it for amount of hours. What I do is I send off texts on Mondays and Tuesdays because it's on a drip campaign, like I mentioned. So for the people who I text on Mondays, they're not only going to get texted on Monday, but they're going to get a ringless voicemail on Monday. And if they don't reply, then they're going to get a text ringless voicemail on Tuesday, and then a text on Wednesday. And then I send off a batch to people on Tuesday, and they're on that same, the first 3 days they're getting contacted. So they're going to get contacted Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so it just, I've been sending off 500 texts a week. So like 250 on Monday and 250 on Tuesday. And it depends. There's really no timeline on that, because the only timeline that it's going to be is how quickly I want them to be added to the drip campaign. So today I did 5 every minute, and I'm sending off 200 texts. So it's going to take 40 minutes to get through that. If I wanted to do 10 a minute, it would have only taken me 20 minutes. But it's not really about how quickly I send off the text. Well, it kind of is, but it's about being prepared to respond to the texts that are going to come back in. You know what I mean? So I could be here all day sitting in front of the computer, because they're gonna continue getting. I'm gonna continue getting replies. I get replies pretty much all day. Some people don't text back till they're off work, till they get home, till they see it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that's why I like it though. Is it's kind of constant. You can get a text back, like the woman who I said that we came to a verbal agreement on. She texted me back like Saturday night, and I hopped on the phone with her, and we came to a verbal agreement. Still looking to hopefully get that signed. So just again showcases the power of just the constant marketing in the background. No properties are for sale. I'm gonna double check to see how much. Terry says no, sold. I'm gonna text Terry the template, asking if he has any others. tag him. Already sold. Parasarama says no. Christina says no, I sold them all when I asked if she had any others. Ramiro says yes, I want to sell. Boom. Great conversation, says I will always love dogs, Mohammed. Otis Washington. Oh, okay, yeah, I have the time block. That's why I was asking, but that makes lots of sense. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, that's perfect if you have the time block. Just know that the time block that you're setting up is for the window in which you will send off the text. But just know in the back of your head that 100% of the replies aren't going to come back right away. They're going to come back, hours later. Which, it's going to be best if you're able to be there right when they reply. But obviously, if it sounds like if you're having a time block, then it means that you have other obligations. So it's just something to consider. You may miss out on, like, who's to say that when this woman texted me on Saturday night, days after I had texted her last, that she wasn't texting a bunch of other people because she just came to the decision that she wants to sell. So there is benefit in being right there when they text you back. So for Ramiro, I'm going to do kind of the same thing. Yes, I want to sell. I think the fact that he said it like that too is even more appropriate for me to ask his timeline. I'm going to say, great. Did you have an idea of how soon you want to sell? And if he's like right now, then I'm going to get him on the phone. Chris says no. I still have another couple in the replies that I need to address. But I'm nearing the end here of all the texts going out, so I just want to finalize it before I shift gears to get into the comps and the nitty gritty of these replies. After I just preached about it being important to be right there when they reply. It's only been a minute. Noel says no. Steve says no, and I am a realtor. Okay, Steve. You. I could take an opportunity to build a relationship here with a realtor, but I'm not going to. To just be frank with you, I may, if it was a cold call and I connected and it seemed like a decent person to have a conversation with, I may try to make a relationship there. Just see what type of market they work, what type of price points they work, if they ever come across any type of distressed properties, all that good stuff. But I don't. It's not really worth my time and my texting dollars to be pursuing a conversation. Primarily because the way he texted back seemed like he was more pretentious than anything else. Like, no, and I am a realtor. You cannot buy my house. Like, okay. Simple no would have worked. Barney says stop. Okay, I can stop, Barney. All right, I'm gonna see how many. Appreciate you guys in here dropping the likes too. I see that and I feel that love. Appreciate you. Let's come over here, refresh the screen, see how many more texts or how many more people are getting added to the campaign, how far along it is in the drip. I think it should be nearing the end here. Yeah, so all 200 have been added and initially texted. Ramiro says today, question mark, on how soon he'd want to sell. So I'm going to give him a call right now. Let me, I'm going to quickly run some comps, just see what area we're working with. Something real quick though. I want to get him on the phone within the next couple minutes. Oh, I'm not familiar with this area. I'll tell you that much. I know exactly what city this is, but I'm really not familiar with the area. It's like in between Houston and Conroe, which is north of Houston. And I mentioned those two cities because those are like the markets that I really work. But this is kind of like in between, in like the spring. It's Rosharon, I think is how you say the city name. I don't even know how you say the city name, but I'm gonna wholesale this deal without even knowing how to pronounce the city name. I'll tell you that much. Do you send the same text over and over, or are you rephrasing your words so it does not sound spammy? Uh, Yeah, so if it's like completely different messages every time I text them in the same campaign. So over the course of the first 25 days, I'm sending them like 5 texts, 6 texts, and they're all completely different to answer that question, if that's what you're asking. The first text is like, hey, have you ever considered parting ways with your property? The second one is, hey, I just texted you yesterday. Just wanted to, reach back out to make sure you got it or something like they're different messages. The third is, hey, I know I've been texting you over the past few days. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for the property? The next one is, just wanted to let you know that aside from a cash offer, I do have a few different options. So we can see what makes the most sense for you. So yeah, to answer your question, they're different messages over the course of the campaign. So this property looks kind of nice on Zillow. The Zestimate is 191.9, so about 192. Looks like he's owned it for about 11 and a half years. He owns this property and another. This is an absentee owned. It looks like he owns it free and clear. I don't see a mortgage. I'm going to run some quick comps. Put the parameters as residential, single family, within a half mile. Square feet on this one is 1464, so I'll bring it down to 1200 as the minimum and 1700 as the max. Sold within the last year. The year built on this is 1958. I'm going to go minimum 1950, maximum 1970. That gives me 0 properties, so I'm going to bring it down to 1948, go 10 years in that direction. Still no properties. Let's see, what can I expand? I'll go 1750 max, and then I'll push it back another year to see if that gives me anything. Nothing, huh? Let me push it out to a mile, see if that gives me anything. That doesn't make sense to me. There's got to be something sold in this area. I must have. That doesn't make sense to me at all. Let me just reset the parameters, see if it gives me. So it gives me 2 that sold in the last year. Why are these ones not? So these are fairly smaller. Dang, this is kind of a weird area. I'm gonna pull it up on Redfin. There's like no comps on PropStream. They're pushing out a mile. Gives me 2 more properties, but these ones are way far away. I want to pull up the zip on Redfin. Got some comps over there. But again, Zestimate's 191. Assuming that ARV is pushed up a little bit, which is what I'm finding typical of kind of this market, is that this estimate will say the number and the ARV is truly like anywhere between like 10 to sometimes upwards of 60,000 more than this estimate. So I can still kind of run a conservative offer price based off of that, but I really would like to get some more concrete comps to base me throwing a number out. Just trying to figure out where exactly this this property is, because again, I'm very unfamiliar with the area. You would just think there's more activity here. Okay, I see. Okay, so some are for sale in this area. Let's see what those are being listed at, and see if we can use it as comp. So it's new construction actually. So we can't use that as a comp. 270. This is a lot that's being sold for 275. Looks like new construction's the play here. 599. It's an acre and a half. There's a lot of lots being sold in this area. So let me see what this looks like on Zillow again, and I might just drive it a little bit on Google Maps, as weird as that sounds, to see if it's maybe a new construction play. Because if this place is going for 350 on a, we'll see if it's a similar size lot. I may be able to, you know, offer somewhere, 60,000, something like it. But the place seems so nice on Zillow, so I'm gonna pull it up on Street View and drive around a little bit. Sounds a little weird, but I at least want to just be able to turn my head. So it's all, yeah. Excuse me. I'm glad I did this because it's like it's a really nice house in between a bunch of vacant lots and like kind of shittier houses, to be honest. Um, it's just not, I don't think it's worth tearing down because it's in fairly good shape. But it was built when? 58. So it is like what, almost 60, a little over 60 years old. Still not worth tearing down, I don't think. Let's just get him on the phone anyway. Let's see what he's talking about. The estimated value on PropStream is 174. Zestimate is 191. I really wish let's run some quick comps and see if Redfin gives me anything sold in this area. Sold within the last 2 years. I'm going to make it because I already know there's not a lot of activity in the area. Sold in the last 2 years. This guy may be yanking my chain too. But we'll see. 1464 square feet. So I'll put the minimum. I'm gonna put the minimum 1,000. Max 1750. What's the lot size on it? Lot size is 9,600. So I'm gonna put minimum 65 to maximum half acre. The only reason I'm doing it so wide is because I know that there's no activity. This has already narrowed it down to 6 homes, and now I have a feeling like it's gonna get cut down to almost nothing based on the year built. So year built 1958. I'm gonna go max 1970, which gets rid of all of them. So it's just, it may be a teardown play, to be honest. It's just, there's no demand for these type of homes in the area. The most recently sold that was closest to that in the year built was a 1989 year built. And this one sold as is for like 300,000. A house and 5 lots, a total of 1 acre of land. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's up with this one. To be quite honest, I really don't know. And this is a difficult one, and I think that it would only make sense as an investor, based off what I'm gathering here, to just nobody's buying homes. Nobody's buying old homes in this area. I might get them on the phone though. Kind of weird. I want to see like the neighbors. There's like nothing this small in the area. Everything's really big. Three. Yeah, really weird area. Okay, this is like the closest one. It's 500 square feet bigger, 2 extra beds, an extra bath. Maybe this is a tear down, to be quite honest. Let me take another look. I could be getting deceived. It just doesn't look like it. I don't know. I'll get his opinion. I just find it hard to believe that I would get this and not find a buyer for it, but I, at the same time, am anticipating that because there's nothing to justify somebody buying this and flipping it. I would, maybe rent it out, but then I don't really think this is a hot area to begin with. Although this is part of the hot zip codes that I pulled, so estimated rent in the area is 1,600. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna see if he'll take something around like less than 120. Um, Again, his estimates at 191. Estimated value on PropStream is 175. Let me see what Redfin tells me. 193 Redfin estimate. So let's just play it safe and say ARV is like 190. If property were to be salvaged, I'd want to be somewhere around like max 145 less repairs, depending on condition. So that's pretty much exactly where I thought I was going to be. 45 less repairs on a less, places under 1,500 square feet. So anywhere between probably like 85 to 125, just to like be safe, with the possibility of the comps being pushed up. Hey yo, what's going on, CWL? What happened with that lady? Did you call her back already? No, I'm actually. That's a good point. I should call her back right now, to be quite honest. I just sent off a gang of texts here, and I just asked this gentleman if he had a moment to speak. So if he doesn't text back in the next few minutes, I wanted to call her at around 11:30, same time. So I'm gonna give her a call in the next couple minutes here. So Chris says no. Christina says no, I sold them all. Just marking these conversations as read. Preston, I forgot, said, yeah, make me a fair offer. Yeah, make a fair offer, and we will consider it. No lowball offers. It is rented for $1,400 a month. You can Google the address for interior pictures online. All right. Let's take a peek at that one. So on Zillow, I want to see, it was, yeah, they tried to sell it for way more than what it's worth. Yeah, so They listed it for sale September 2020 for 150,000. It didn't sell, and they got removed the first of the year on 2021. So they listed it for about 3 months. It didn't sell. Then a month after that, they listed it for 170, which is $20,000 more than what they listed it for when it didn't sell, and that sat for 8 months and didn't sell. Now here we are, 2 months after that. The likelihood of them accepting an offer that I'm going to give them is slim to none, based on what their expectations are. I may even just address that with her right now through text and say something like, "Hey, I see that you were listing it and it didn't sell at 170. I wouldn't want to insult you with an offer if it's because it's not going to be anywhere near that. As an investor, I have to create a little bit of margin for profit myself. So, um, you know, I don't know if we'll be a good fit, but want to ask. I'm pretty much going to say that right now. Oh, it's Preston. Because I can determine that without even running the comps. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be, even if it is in great shape. But they're saying Google the address, and you can also see pictures. So um, we'll pull it up on HAR here, which is like the Texas MLS site. Yeah, so it's in rent ready condition, not a flip, decent condition, pretty lived in. Um, Pretty lived in. It's like the best way to say it. Some other sites look like they're estimating value upwards of 165. Even at that, that's what they're asking, and they didn't get on market in like the hottest time of real estate history. So they're not going to get that. But it's at least good to know that that's what their place looks like and what their expectations are. Roosevelt says wrong number. Lee Jew says stop. To Preston. I'm going to quickly comp this just to see what ARV's looking like. Yeah, they've only owned it for 3.5 years. They try to come up. Oh, and they own 67 properties. I forgot that wasn't that's usually something that I try to limit. I'm not even going to respond to these people, to be quite honest. It's something that I like to limit because they don't care. They're not motivated. They don't need to sell this property. They're just like, yeah, if you want to. That's why they're listing it at way over market value, because there's no incentive. If somebody comes along and pays me this price, then I'll sell it. But they're not motivated by it at all. No lowball offers. Yeah, that's annoying. All right. Oh, Maryland. I don't own this property. Must be a wrong number. Must be. Hey, Marilyn, how's it going?
Hello? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Did I
I'm
get?
at the doctor. I'm at the doctor.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, I might be getting a little bit. But yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, no problem. When should I give you a call back?
About 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay, that's perfect. I'll give you a call then. All right, bye now. Marilyn better quit playing with me. All these doctor's appointments starting to get a little suspect. Quit playing with me now, Marilyn. I'm gonna give Ramiro a call. Talk about his property over here on Linda Drive. Really odd property. Bizarre area. Couldn't comp it at all. Just don't really know what to make of it, to be quite honest. I don't know what the play would be here. It would probably be a buy and hold if the place was already in decent condition. I don't know if people are even want to live in this area, to be quite honest. If it's not a new construction home, that's what the play seems to be here, is to tear it down. But his place is in fairly decent condition from what it looks like on the outside. So I'm interested to hear what he has to say about it. I've been having trouble calling off of my texting platform. Still at the doctor, she should just ask for you to send the contract. Yeah, that's not. I know that's what I was thinking too. I should just like send it off and keep it pushing. But I don't. I want to be patient with it because I want to. What I'm gonna do is if like another day goes by and she's just like at the doctor's or she doesn't. The fact I'm not really concerned because she's still answering my phone. She's still answering the calls and telling me, "Hey, sorry, you caught me at a bad time. Call me back in a couple hours." Um, so as long as she's still doing that, I'm cool with it. It's when she's gonna stop answering my phone calls that I'm gonna start getting concerned. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with it. But I was gonna say at one point, like I was saying yesterday, if like another day goes by and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm still at the doctor's. You're catching me at a bad time every time." Especially when I'm calling her exactly at the times where she's telling me to call her, then I'm gonna be like, okay, like Marilyn, I mentioned that we were taking a look at a few other properties, and we kind of set these funds aside because we had come to that agreement at 145, which is what you were asking for. So I just need to know, is this something that you're still wanting to move forward with? Kind of put my foot down a little bit. Um, because we are taking a look at a few other properties, and like I had mentioned, we're trying to buy one more before the end of the year, and I really wanted to help you out. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm even going to do that with her because she's not really tripping. Uh, if you recall the conversation that I had with her, she's just going to be like, "Oh, okay, no worries. Like, I'll sell it to somebody else." Like that's the type of person that she is. So I don't know. I'll be patient with her. Ramiro may be playing with me. This may not be the right person. I said, "Have you given any thought to parting ways with your address? Can we talk about it?" He said, "Yes, I want to sell." I said, "Great. Did you have an idea of how soon you'd want to sell?" And he said, "Today." And I said, "Did you have a moment to speak?" And he didn't text back. And that was almost 20 minutes ago. I'll give him that 20-minute window, which is another 4 minutes. And if he doesn't text back, I'm gonna call him. No, I'm just gonna call him right now. Like I was saying, I've been having trouble calling off of my computer here like I used to using the numbers. I'm gonna see if it works right now because I don't want to have to call them off my Google Voice number because that's like my quote unquote.
Please leave your message
So
for
probably playing with me.
83240.
But I'll follow up with him. I can just follow up. what I'm going to do is, this is the type of guy where I'm just going to put him in an automated follow-up. So I'm going to send myself a task saying, place in new campaign, determine which campaign is most suitable for this lead. Do that just later today, put him into a different campaign. Because he's not even so, I mean, I guess the fact that he didn't answer the call doesn't mean he's not serious and that he's playing with me, but I just don't want to. I'm wasting too much brain space figuring out the best way to handle him right now. So that's all text that went out. Let me see. So I'm going to switch over to the pipeline here to make sure that nothing slipped through the cracks, kind of finish out my texting for the day by doing that, just making sure again that nothing slipped through the cracks and that I'm addressing everybody and everybody is dispositioned properly. So first I'll start in the replied. Oh, you know what I can do? I'm gonna go to contacts, smart lists, more filters, pipeline stage, replied. I'm going to create a smart list called replied. That way I can just come here to the smart list at any given time and I can see everybody who's in this stage of the pipeline, and I should be able to click through them. Yep. There we go. So, if you give me any thoughts or parting ways, no. They're tagged not interested, but for some reason it didn't trigger the pipeline stage to move from reply to not interested. So I'll do that now. Mark it as lost. Delete the replied tag. Save that. On to the next. Person said, yes, 380,000. Says Marjorie. Let me see what it's looking like, Marjorie. Is this your driver dollars list, or did you pull a list from PropStream? I pulled a list from GeoPoint Data. This is the first time I've really, I think, used that. Skip trace with batch. And yeah, I was saying though, this is like the first time I've really gotten a new list into my texting and my dialer. So I was excited to see what type of reply rate I was going to get. Every other list that I've been texting has just been a recycled list. Maybe I've texted some new driver for dollars lists, but this list just feels really fresh to me. So I was excited to get through it. I had about a little over 300 people that I could text, and then I think the list itself was like maybe 400 to 500 long. So I have a lot of other people that I can call. So Zestimate on this is 364,000. They are asking 380. I wish it would have been a little bit more reasonable. Let's see if I can run some comps that will push the value. That's tough. It's just so tight, and that's probably why they're asking what they're asking, is because they know there's estimate, or however you want to say that. They okay. So PropStream value is 415. It's a little bit more favorable. These people own 4 properties. Marjorie. This is absentee owned. Residential, single family, 2,800 square feet. So I'm going to make it 2,500 minimum and then 3,100 maximum. Year built 99. I'm going to go minimum 90. I'm going to go maximum 2005. gives us 4 properties that sold within the last year. 1 and 3 look to be in our subdivision, which they are. Ours is 3 years newer than both of those, slightly bigger lot than both of those, one more than the other. So let's take a look at these. Sold for $389 3 weeks ago. So $390 3 weeks ago. This one is in our subdivision. It has an extra half bath. So ours could probably sell for $385. This is an extra 100 square feet. So ours could probably go $375. Ours is bigger and newer on the lot and year built. So what did I just say? Ours probably go for 380. Knocking down 380, 385, 375. Yeah, 380. 380 probably. This one sold back in July. One extra bath at 345. Ours could sell 335. Ours is about 150 square feet bigger. Call it 350. Slightly bigger lot. Nothing to write home about. Same on the year built. But this one has pictures. Let's see if it went in as is. I imagine it probably did. The pictures aren't there. So call it what was this one? 390, 390, 385, 385, 375. Call it 380. This one says 415. I wonder why it's given such great value to it on PropStream. On Zestimate, so 364. I think 385 is accurate here based on what I'm seeing. Let's push it back a year, see if we can get anything else. Okay. Okay. Yeah, nothing that would justify any of this. Yeah, I think 385. In which case, I would be nowhere near 380. I would probably be somewhere realistically in the ballpark of 250. I'll ask her what type of work she's done to the place. Have you come across any deals that might be good for seller finance type situation? And are you going to focus on rentals after you close your third wholesale deal? Um, come across any deals that might be good seller finance? Yeah, I have. It's not something that I really entertain, although I probably should, to be quite honest. I've just been really focusing on just solidifying my process and getting people cash offers. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I feel like I haven't even really had too many solid conversations where we're close enough in price where a seller finance would work still. But I'll be honest, it's not even something that really crosses my mind when I ask if they own the place free and clear and stuff like that. And are you going to focus on rentals after you close your third wholesale deal? No, I'm not going to. I'm imagining your question is, am I gonna also start marketing to multifamily as opposed to single families? And I don't have any plans on doing that. Same kind of reasoning is I still want to just perfect my process in getting cash offers to single families and build out a team surrounding that before I start overcomplicating things and getting shiny object syndrome and chasing different tails. That's my goal. That's my plan here. I'm gonna ask this person. Yes, 380,000. I don't even know what to say to this person. Well, this is what I do. This is a good time to practice because I have to be so far lower than this. So I'm gonna tag her realtor referral, which should prompt a text to be sent to her right now, which it did, that says, okay, as an investor, that would be a bit out of my price range, but if the condition is up to par, I think you may be able to get something close to that if you listed it on market. Have you considered that? So now I just quickly transitioned to possible realtor referral because that's not going to work for me as a cash offer. right, to the next. Stop, buddy, please. Jose said, yes, we can talk about it. And when I asked if he had an idea of how quickly he'd want to sell, he didn't answer. I may just call him right now. Run some quick comps. See what the values are looking like. His estimate on this, 129. This kind of looks like a house that can be wholesaled at first glance. Let's see. Jose owns 3 properties, and this one is absentee owned, and the other property is just looks to be like a commercial lot. So not a crazy savvy investor by the looks of it. See, residential single family. This place is 832 square feet. I'm gonna make the minimum 600, maximum 700. 800. What is that? That gives me 270 in one direction. Yeah, that's cool. I'll drop it down to 50 on the minimum just to be sure. I'm not missing anything. So year built 1973. I'm gonna go minimum 60, maximum 80. I'll go 83 for that same reason. Make sure I'm not missing anything, which doesn't look like I would have. That gives me 3 properties that sold within the last year. One of them, which was actually sold and not rented, sold last month for 130,000. Has an extra half bath. Let's call ours 125. An extra 160 square feet. Let's call ours 110. With a slightly bigger lot and older year built. So I just leave it at like 110. 110. What was his estimate? Was 130. Let's I'm gonna increase the maximum to 1,200 square feet and pull it back another year. That gives me a couple more properties here. So in September of 2020, this one sold for, this one's on the other side of the road though. I really don't like that. I guess all of them kind of are, but sold for 175, 3.2 extra bathroom. I was gonna sell for 165, about 200 extra square feet, like 150 extra square feet. So 25, 30 off of 175, probably 145. Ours is slightly newer, same size lot. I should probably go for 145, 150. Let's call it 145 to be conservative for now. Take a look at this next one that sold for 154 back in September. And, you know, with market appreciation, I think it's safe to call that one 150. 154, extra bath, call it 144. About 300 extra square feet, though. I don't even know if you can consider this a comp. I will, though. 30,000 off of what? I'd say 44, 110. Yeah, I don't even like that as a comp anyways. Same beds, bath, sold in July of 2020 for 135. 300 extra square feet, call it 105. Same year built, same lot size. So it really just, you know, I don't really like these comps because they're so old. They've seen so much market appreciation. I'm gonna call it 150. Call it 150 to be quite honest. Call it 150. I want to be somewhere in the ballpark of. It may just be going for lot value to be quite honest. Probably not though. Anywhere in the ballpark of 60 to 100. upwards of 100 as is, if it's in just a cosmetic. I'm gonna give him a call. See if I can get him on the phone real quick. So this is me calling off of my texting platform, which is why it's coming out of the computer. Nothing. Saving a note for the MAO and the ARV that I came up with there. Set myself a task. I'm gonna call this guy in a couple days. And this guy just replied yes. He had asked, have you given any thought to parting ways with your address? Can we talk about it? And he said yes. And I asked if he had a moment to talk, and he didn't reply. So I called him and he didn't answer. So I'm just gonna follow up with him in a few days. To myself. Today's Tuesday. I'll call him on Thursday. Tag him as follow-up. Save that. All right, Ramiro, I've already tagged him. Follow up. I need to delete him from the replied phase. Go. Set myself a task to follow up with him in 2 days. Determine which campaign is most suitable for him. David said, do you have any thought to parting ways? Can we talk about it? He said yes. Did you have an idea of how soon you'd want to sell? He said no. I'm going to give him a call real quick too. Not too familiar with the area. His estimate's 209. See what PropStream tells us. It sold, quit. A couple of texts that came in. PropStream says 202. Let's see what the comps tells us. He owns 3 properties. This is absentee owned. Let's go residential, single family, 1386 square feet. Keep it where it's at. 1109 minimum, 1663 maximum. Year built 79. I'm gonna go minimum 70, maximum 90. That gives us 6 properties. Only 2 of which actually sold. So this is a rental market. Most recently sold a month ago in October, late October at 223. This one has pictures. Taking a look, and it is a flip for the most part. It looks like a flip. I'm just trying to see if this is actually somebody's house, but it looks like it was staged. Possibly somebody's house, but that one's over 223 with The same beds, bath, but an extra almost 300 square feet. Call ours, let's just say 200. Ours has 1,000 extra square feet on the lot, 1 year older. I'd say you'd call ours 200. Let's see this other one that's a little closer in square footage. Sold 210 back in September. This one looks like it's right around the block. Same beds, bath, less than 100 extra square feet. It's pretty much same size lot, 1 year newer. I just would call ours 210 as well. I think that's fair. 210 ARV, which is what this estimate shows pretty much. I don't know how else. I mean, I can push this back another 6 months, see what that, if it comes up with anything else. No, it's not going to be anything that's going to push our values any, that's for sure. So I call it 210. I would need to be anywhere between probably like 110 and 150, depending on condition. I'm gonna give them a call.
Hello.
Hey, is it David?
No, you got the wrong number, bud. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. I was just I had texted somebody a minute back about a property over on Golden Cypress Lane. Was that not you?
Yeah, that's David's property, but I want to do Dave all or 3 a day on this deal, and if you want to update your records,
Oh, okay.
then you'll.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be sure to take you off.
This isn't David.
So just to confirm,
Thank you, bud.
you don't have any property you'd be interested in selling. But why would he text me back then? See, that's exactly what I thought was going on with the other guy. So this guy, I said, hi, David, have you given any thought to parting ways with this address? Can we talk about it? He says, yes. I say, great. Did you have an idea of how soon you'd want to sell? And he says, no. And then I call him and he's like, oh, no, yeah, it's not the right David. You should update your records. What, man? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? So I'm going to make him wrong number. Wasting my time, that's for sure. The next one here. Chris just says no. I've already handled that one. Not interested. I'm going to leave this guy here for 1 second because I wanted to create a different property card for him. Monica just said no, I believe. Not selling at this time. Mark her not interested. People playing games, I know. Your thing. Deborah Bruckner. It's sold. Here with the templates. Oh, okay. Would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling at the moment? I'll tag her already sold. Save that. Stop, buddy. Leo. Danny says sold long time back. Same thing. Okay, would you happen to have any other property you'd be interested in selling? Tag already sold. Deborah says no. She does not have any other property. Don't own this property. All right. So Dana asked for 100,000 a while ago. I'm gonna revisit this. His estimate's 126. Prop stream gives out a value of 149. Let's see what the comps say. Residential, single family, minimum 1,100 square feet, maximum 1,600. Minimum you're built 55 to 75. Gives me 21 properties that sold in the last year. I'm going to pull my subdivision to limit it even further. No. Well, it is, but not on. All right. This one sold for 175. Same subdivision, 1/10 of a mile away. This one has an extra. This one sold 2 weeks ago. Extra bed, so I think ours could go for 165. Um. 165, 200 extra square feet on the lot, nothing crazy. 7 years newer build, which is kind of significant, but I'd call it like 160 maybe. 150, 155 if you want it to be conservative. Let's call it 155. I have another one that went for 109. 200 extra square feet. This one probably sold as is. 9989. 10 years newer. Just kind of speaks to what ours could probably go for in as is condition, probably something like 80. But let's assume that ARV is 155. I would need to be somewhere at max 115, less repairs. Places 1,300 square feet, so less than 1,500. I'd be somewhere in the ballpark of 65 to 100. So I could probably do 100 if it was just strictly cosmetic. Let's see what the conversation was like. She said, call my realtor. I said, okay, I can definitely do that. Is it currently listed for sale? If so, what's the asking price? She said, look on HAR. I said, it shows on an appraisal. It wasn't listed. I don't know why she was directing me to her realtor. I said, it shows an appraisal value of 81,000. Is that what you would be looking to get? She said 100. And then she stopped responding to my text, and I've sent her like 8 texts since then. So I'm wanting to just call her right now and see if I can start a conversation. REI Capital, hello. Yeah, if you close the door, it's too loud. Okay, how long will you be?
I'm gonna phone too, so
okay.
I don't know when I'm starting. I'll knock on the phone when I'm starting.
I'm gonna call her right now, Dana. No answer. I'm gonna take note. Oh, I already did. MAO 112 less repairs, which is pretty much exactly what I said. 115. I rounded up. I pretty much exactly came to 112 less repairs when I was on my calculator. So that's funny. I'm gonna try again at the end of the week. I'm trying to be as relentless as possible when it comes to these follow-ups. I'm done like playing that I'll call them in a couple weeks type stuff. Today's Tuesday. I'm gonna call her again on Thursday. What I should really be doing is calling her again in a couple hours, but my schedule doesn't really allow it. So she's still in the hot lead flow campaign. So I've been sending her a bunch of texts, or it's been automatically sending out. All right, let's see. This is some manual action that I was set for myself. Her name is Angel. This was another favorable response that I got a while back, I remember. Oh no, it kind of fizzled out. I made an offer and she said the offers that I have are over 100,000. And she said, honestly, just seeing your range, I don't think this one's for you. I gave her a range of 70 to 100. And she says she's received offers over 100. I said, I completely understand. We're not the best match for everybody. If it ends up needing less repairs than I'm anticipating, I may be able to come up a bit on my offer. But please feel free to save my number. Reach out if anything changes on your end. We're actively buying in Houston and are always looking for more projects. She said, honestly, I told the 3 offers that I not really looking to sell. But when they came with the offer, I was like, I think I will sell. So there is a lot of competition out there. Good luck. What is your name? Thank you. My name is Derek. Okay, if anyone around my want to sell, I let you know for your amount. Said, please do, and my offer will vary from home to home depending on the conditions. So please feel free to pass along my information to anybody who's wanting to sell. The property may need a bit of love. Sure thing. Have a great night. And I said, you as well. And I've put her in another campaign. Hey, just following up on the offer that I made a few weeks ago. If you want to talk about the offer or anything regarding the process, please reach out. Yada yada. Got a few more people texting back. Stop. Sold that house in March. Sorry, not my property. I'm gonna give Angel a quick call though. Oh, see, Leo. Now that it's been happening this and the dials have been going through, I think that's just telling me that her phone's off or something. So I'm going to. I already have a task set for myself in 2 days, so I'm just going to do that. I'm wanting to. Okay. How did the call go? This is the first time I used this feature. How did the call go? I'm going to say busy. Okay, I see how that works now. That was a new feature that I kind of use. I'm going to have to jump off here in a minute. The old lady's getting ready to film for her business. So what I'm probably going to do is I've already followed up with everybody who I've wanted to follow up with through my texting platform for the day. I think other than Marilyn, who I'm wanting to, and I got one more person. The one guy who was like, I want to think about it, and then Marilyn, who we've already agreed to on price. So I think I'm gonna cut it right now. Let her film for an hour or so. Take my dog out, get him running around and tired, so we're not having a. I guess he looks pretty tired already, but you'd be surprised. Yeah, he has a lot of energy when he doesn't get out. And then I'm gonna come back, probably in like a little bit over an hour. Take him out, run around, come back, shower, eat. So I'll probably more like an hour and a half, closer to 2 p.m. But that's exactly. I'm gonna come on exactly at 2 p.m. and call Marilyn because that's when she told me to call her. So I'm gonna be back by 2 p.m., which is about 2 hours from now, to finish the follow-ups. More than likely, have a few more people to respond through text, and then switch to the follow-ups for my my dialer, my dialing follow-ups. I had like a handful, 4 or 5 people that I wanted to call from my dialer as well today. So I'm gonna do that, and then if I have enough time before I have to leave for the afternoon, I may cold call a little bit as well. So I'll be back in a little bit. Hope to see you guys there. Sorry to cut this one, midway, but hoping that you guys are able to join me again in a little bit here. See you later, CWL. I will see you later. Appreciate you guys tapping in. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Really does help me out. Go live once a day, all that good stuff. Oh, damn. What's up, Frank? Caught me right at the tail end here. I'm getting ready to hop off. Like I mentioned, for a quick little lunch break, take Leo out for a spin around the block, play a little tug with him, shower up afterwards, and gonna hop back on here, finish my follow-ups for the day. Like I said, I will probably, at least I hope that I will have a few more texts coming back in over that period of time as well to respond to. Finish my follow-ups and maybe transition into some dialing as well. So I will be back in about an hour and a half. Hope to see you guys there. Peace.